View's #1 fans.
It's Wednesday, October 28th. Coming up live on The View. They're the hottest topics on TV. From why Sherry was blown away by the Michael Jackson movie, to Andre Agassi admitting he used crystal meth while he was on tour, and the female Letterman staffer who's exposing what really goes on in the writer's room. Plus, Edward Norton's telling you about his new movie that exposes a side of the Obama family the world has never seen. And you won't believe who he's running the New York Marathon with this Sunday. And you can save thousands on clothes if you bank on The View and Carson Kressley when he shows you how to double the life of your wardrobe and secrets that transform them into a whole new look. All that, hot topics, and more coming up live on The View.
To The View. Before we do anything else, have you guys looked out over at this audience? I'm just curious if you see anything unusual in the audience.
Well, white people?
You need to look behind the camera. No. Well, you know, the Phillies are in town because today the Phillies for the World Series.
Yes.
And there are some Philly wives sitting right there. Hey, ladies. Yes. Hey. They're gorgeous.
They make them gorgeous in Philly.
They do. So you guys, you know, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. And don't pay any attention to the newspapers. Don't look at any of that stuff because it's dopey. But y'all...
How about the rain, though? Are they going to play tonight or
I believe they're going to play. I believe they're going to play. It's going to be a hot game tonight.
I think they'll play, right?
I'm into it this year.
Yeah. You are. Oh, that's right. You even knew.
I was a Yankee fan as a kid, so now it's like a new thing for me. I'm enjoying it.
I thought you don't like sports.
I like Derek Jeter.
That is a sport in itself, and if I had a spoon, I would definitely dig into that.
I like A-Rod. He's kind of...
Well, A-Rod is always a good thing to have. But now, Sherry...
Yes.
You had a good time last night.
45 seconds later.
Oh my gosh, I love your bracelet.
You had a good time at the movies last night. What did you go see?
I went to see Michael Jackson's This Is It.
Wow. Tell us details.
It was such an emotional roller coaster, but I tell you, the performance level that he was at, that would have been the most amazing concert to see. It was, I mean, he did some stuff to Thriller. He kind of updated Thriller. The behind-the-scenes footage of him with his dancers. These dancers were crying because it was always a dream of theirs to work with Michael. So they would, the dancing was amazing, but to see Michael's perfection, but he had a perfection in a very loving way. Yeah. So he would do things over and over. He'd go, God bless you, and let's try it again, and it's yours. It's your time, and we'll be with you. Take the moment.
An ensemble. He made his folks stand up. I mean, look.
Everybody go see it. Is it too late for that to be considered for Oscar? Because it was...
I don't think it's too late. If it comes under a documentary sort of form.
Because I could not imagine that it wouldn't be nominated for a bunch of categories.
What was it like leaving there? Because everyone left, right? And were people talking about it when you left? Or is everybody
we were screaming. We were speechless at times. And then I'm telling you, I sat there and went, that man could not have been on all those drugs that they say, you know, that they're saying...
Well, he was on to sleep. So after he worked all day, then he went to sleep.
But I don't know, Joy, just the level that he was rehearsing at, he was so lucid.
Let me tell you, when you got brilliant people, when you have that caliber, that's like to me, that's like a Judy Garland caliber.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you've done. You see them and they look like this when they come in. The minute they hit that stage, pow!
Right.
Breasts are up. Voices singing, everything works, and then they go home and they go, we'll see you when we get home, we'll see you, baby, see you tomorrow, and then they get home and it's like, oh my God, put me to bed.
I just remember what LaToya Jackson was saying, his sister, and I don't know, watching that, you'll have to form your own opinion. I kind of could understand what LaToya was saying about she thought that it was murder.
I don't think it was murder. I think it was a bad combination. It happens to people all the time. You know, you're so used to taking stuff and your body gets tolerant, so you take a little bit more and then you take a little bit more. And sometimes if you're taking 6 or 7 things, you can't remember what you took 3 hours ago because it's worn off.
But if there's a doctor overseeing everything that's going on, that's where it becomes a question.
Well, go see it. Despite of all of that, please go see it.
It's fantastic.
Also, the official 2-disc companion album to This Is It is in stores now, and it includes the brand new hit song This Is It, plus 4 rare, never-before-heard demos, and you're all going home with a copy.
This week's People magazine has excerpts from the new Andre Agassi autobiography where he admits to using crystal meth while he was playing tennis. Now, do you think that the Tennis Association should do anything about this? I mean, when was the last time he was playing professionally?
This is all based on his book, Open, which is, I mean, I was fascinated by the article just because he is so open about his use of the crystal meth and then the lie that he told to cover it up at the time when his urine test came back positive. He said that it was his assistant who actually put it in his drink and he inadvertently took a sip of the...
And he got away with that.
He got away with it. So I wonder now, will there be an asterisk next to his name? Is there a statute of limitations going back if he'd had any matches then? I don't know, but it's kind of hard to be upset with him because he's done a lot of good things since.
You know, it just speaks to how the association, how much, you know, will they actually investigate stuff like that? Because I was reading in the article that there was a French player who got his sentence lifted because he said that the cocaine that they found in his blood came from being in a nightclub and kissing somebody on the lips.
That's a stretch.
Cocaine's contagious?
But that's a stretch.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You'd be so surprised. There you would be in the old days, and you'd go and kiss somebody, and it would get all over you, and you'd be making out with them, and you're ingesting literally everything they just put in their body. Now, is it enough to show up on a urine test? I don't know, because I never had to take one.
But can I just want to say one other thing. You know, I'm fascinated by Andre Agassi. He does wonderful work with his school, his charter school in Vegas. But I did not know that Andre Agassi wore a hairpiece.
I didn't either.
For much of his career.
I didn't either.
And during the French Open, he had his hair. No, I mean, but you know, it's just. I guess because I wear wigs, so any hair
would have felt a connection.
So she related because before he was supposed to play in the French Open, he took a shower and the hairpiece disintegrated. Right. So his brother was rushing around looking for bobby pins to pin it on.
What I had.
But I know that feeling. But you know, just the feeling of putting something on and hoping it does not fall off
during a tennis match. That's a lot of hope.
I mean, really, doesn't that thing just fly off when you're lobbing?
That's what I mean. He held it on.
How do you focus when you're worrying about the hair? I don't know. I don't know.
I love the fact that he's written this book and that he has said, yes, I did this and this is what happened. And you know what? Let's hope that it serves as a warning to other people because it's not that easy to get away with stuff anymore. And unless you are Andre Agassi material, you're probably not going to get away with a lie like that.
And he used it as an opportunity to kind of turn things around in his life, too.
His father sounds a little abusive also.
He speaks a lot about the pressure that his dad put on him. He said his dad used to hunt birds and didn't like when things would prey on an animal with lesser power. He said, but he didn't mind preying on me, was a quote from his father.
He hated tennis. He hated tennis and he loved tennis.
Well, you know, when you're making your kids live vicariously, when you carry through your kids, it can sometimes turn around and bite you in the derriere.
That's right.
What, baby? Say it real fast.
No, see, he was a little jealous man. Jealous of Brooke when she did that scene on Friends and licked Joe's.
Sometimes it's just like that, you know? But you know, we got to go right now. But when we come back, we're coming back with more Hot Topics. That's just the way it is.
Okay, Super Tease time again. What's coming up later this week? Thursday, Wanda Sykes, Rachel.
Wanda Sykes is coming on to talk about her new late-night show, but she's here for the first time as a mom. She's got twins. Can't wait to hear all about it.
Sting.
Sting's never been here before. Sing one of his new songs.
Friday, huge Halloween show. Who's on?
Fox News' Bill O'Reilly is putting on a costume for our Halloween show. It could be frightening.
Mario Cantone is dressing up too and telling us about the new Sex and the City movie.
Go away! Letterman in 1990 writes that she knew Dave and other male employees were having, relations with female staff members who benefited professionally from these relationships. And it made for a somewhat hostile work environment that made her feel, to quote her, completely demeaned. Now, taking it out of that context, taking it out of the comedy room, there are some folks who say this has never gone away, that this has always been with us and it will always be with us. Do you think that's true?
Well, I think we somehow convince ourselves the workplace has evolved from maybe what it was back in the day when, this sort of thing would happen all the time. I mean, Joy, you would tell the story about a teacher that you worked with, right?
He was the chairman of the department.
Right, so it was someone in a position of power. Right. And then sort of, coming on to a woman with lesser power. Right. And so I think in some ways we've convinced ourselves that, no, that's not how it's happening in our day now. It is, unfortunately.
Everywhere.
It's still going on.
But does it happen all the time? I mean, is it just rampant? Are there no bastions of relative calmness for men and women to work together? Should we always be concerned about some guy's going to grab your butt or some other woman's going to grab your butt?
I haven't worked everywhere, but every place I have worked, there's usually some relationship going on.
Maybe it's you, baby.
I'm not the one, no. I only this one time that Elizabeth referred to when I was a teacher back in the day. But, I mean, since then, I guess they're scared of me.
It seems to be more consensual now. You know what I mean? Not so much of a feeling like they can't escape it. It was more maybe male dominance in the beginning, but now are the women more willing participants? I don't know. Or just
but even if they are willing participants, the point that I've made over and over again, and I was even quoted in this article, is that it's about the other girls, the other females on the staff who do not get the same favoritism as the one who's stooping the boss.
But what about the other? Is it just about other women to women, or is it about the other people who are working there? Should we give a doggone about whoever is working in the environment who is not stooping the boss and getting a head up?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
Can't say it again.
I can't even believe I said it once.
I remember at various law firms I worked at, because I used to be a temp legal secretary at different law firms, and it'd be a lot of the partners having relations with the secretaries. And sometimes it did create a hostile work environment because there was favoritism shown with that secretary who was, can you say shipping? Is that a word?
Stipping?
Don't say it again. They don't like you to say it. Once is fine. 4 times no. So that's the rule.
I didn't know if it was another. But
she's trying to find the right word because we have so many we can't say.
How about shagging?
Well, we haven't said that yet.
Yeah. And it did create that type of environment for us, being that I remember one girl, she got out early. She got a lighter workload. We got the heavier workload. And, the lunches were always too long and things
Let me ask you a really horrifying question. In these situations, if you're the person who's not the person who's being rewarded,
how do you define the reward?
That was good.
Thank you.
Very good.
I thought I've grown a lot. In this, I'm telling you. Whatever I was thinking is gone.
If you're not the person, I'll get you back.
You love it? It's like a black seed.
Menopause. This is menopause. Point, gone.
We were talking in the makeup room about the part that she says that the female comedy writers that were there, because there aren't, I don't know if they have any now.
We're talking now about Letterman, not just in general.
Letterman's first girlfriend, if I could remember her name, menopausally, I can't remember. She was his girlfriend, and she was the head writer. Meryl Marco, that's right. And so they were saying something about how they would be in the room with the male comedy writers, and they would be judgmental, the girls. And so boys did not like that. Well, they're girls and boys, they're working, they're young.
Well, maybe they thought the jokes stunk.
That's what I say. It's possible that the girls just thought the jokes were very sophomoric and didn't like the jokes. So now they're mad that they didn't laugh at the stupid joke.
Even when she got fired, not fired, even when she left and David Letterman asked her why she was leaving, she said she wanted to be honest with him and let him know that this work environment was hostile and people were getting favoritism, but the mistress was within earshot. So she didn't even feel like she could be honest with David Letterman before she left.
I have to say, I know people are really concerned about telling people the truth or saying this isn't uncomfortable or walking away. Yeah. Because I know people feel that they have to stay in a bad work environment.
Well, especially now, given the economy. What do you do now when you're just glad you have a job?
Well, that's the point. But 10 years ago, should she have said, you know what, this is not a good environment for me. Why am I staying here?
Well, she did. Yes. She chose to leave because she...
But how long did she stay?
I think it was a few months. She didn't let them renew it. She said she knew she didn't want to be there for
a year or two, or see. I always wonder about stuff like this, you know, because
she should have left.
Well, no, but why people don't give themselves that option? And I say this only because you cannot function well in an environment that's demeaning to you. No. And you have to make a decision. I mean, it's terrible, but you have to make a decision.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
But why then, if we're talking about the situation where this is a male with a position of power and a female under him who's made to feel demeaned by what's going on, why then is it left up to the woman to leave? Why does the woman and all these women who are under this man? No, because it's the man creating the issue as well.
But the man is in the... If you're saying the man is in the... Because he's in the power. It's his job. He's not well.
I say to that woman, you stay in that job. You don't leave your job to give it to another man who's not going to have to deal with that.
But then you cannot fetch. You cannot fetch about it.
To do it. You can go to Human Resources and complain.
That exists now. That's what I'm saying now. So that's, you know, I'm just saying there are situations where you have the power. Right. And sometimes if it's overwhelming, you need to make a choice because you don't have to stay there for that. You don't have to take that. And yeah, maybe some other bonehead will get your job, but you don't be head.
I know, but then you're right. I hear what you're saying, but you got to pay the bill somehow. I think it's more about straightening up the situation.
I have to go. I said a very strange word, and I can't even. I have to go. We'll be back with more on topics.
This is my mom, confession. When Jackie was a little girl, I used to take her in my bed at night. But when she got to be 35, I think it was a bad idea.
When my daughter was about 7 years old, 8 years old, she was starting to stop believing in Santa Claus, and I really wanted to stretch that out as long as I could, so I hired a local department store Santa who had a great big ho-ho-ho to the house on Christmas Eve. So he came, and it was wonderful, and her eyes got wide, and I could see that she believed, and it was great, except that when Santa was time for him to leave, he found that he had locked himself out of his car, so he wound up coming back in and hanging out in our kitchen for a very long time, and I'm afraid that blew it.
Show you this picture from National Geographic, which moved all of us here.
Look at that.
As it shows more than a dozen grief-stricken chimpanzees mourning the loss of Dorothy the chimp. And the quote, prominent figure in her community. That's what she was called.
That's so smart.
And I have to tell you, you know, she passed on September 23rd. She spent 8 years in Cameroon's Sanga Young Chimpanzee Rescue Center, which was a great place. Yeah. A hunter, they found her after her hunter had killed her mom. But for 25 years, she was tethered to a chain before they rescued her. But this is what's great. In 2000, Dorothy was rescued and relocated, and as her health improved, her deep kindness surfaced. She mothered orphan chimps, one named Buble, I thought you'd like that, and became close friend of many others. Oh. And at the funeral, some chimps displayed aggression, which sometimes they do when they're really upset, while others barked in frustration. But perhaps the most stunning reaction was a reoccurring, almost tangible silence. Oh. It is, you just never, it's amazing.
I think I read that they share 98% of our DNA. So they are very close to humans, and we should be very kind to them.
They're so intuitive, too. I mean, you see it there in the photo.
They said that most of those chimps that were in that, their parents have been killed by hunters and poachers. And so Dorothy took over as their, like, mother.
She was their mom.
She was their mom.
I mean, if you get the opportunity to check out, I mean, you could probably check our website, and we would send you to the chimp rescue places. But there are lots of places where you can send $5, and it really goes to buy, you know, bazillions of bananas for the monkeys. I mean, it's an incredible thing.
Volunteers
and
at this place.
Well, you know, my friend Jane Goodall is all about the. She spends all this. She come hang with the gorillas.
The gorillas are another story.
Because the gorillas would be like, is that Whoopi Goldberg? I'd be like, Okay. Deborah LaFave, the school teacher who had sex with a 14-year-old student, says she wants to be allowed to see her friends and her relatives' kids. This is a really touchy situation because if it was a man, I just can't win today.
It's a touchy-feely situation.
But it's interesting because if it were a guy, would we say, yeah, you of course you should see your family and friends? Would we say, no, keep him away from all children?
Well, no, it's pedophilia no matter how you look at it, I guess. It's just that when it's a woman, I remember when she first did the deed, the judge said she was too pretty, too beautiful to go to jail.
Her lawyer suggested that to me.
I even believe you guys had her husband on the show.
She was married.
Is this the same lady that was married?
Yes,
you did. You did have her husband on the show, and he even, because I remember watching, and he was saying that a lot of women, if they're pretty, he said the same thing as a judge, don't get as harsh of a sentence. But we do tend to put something on men, because I know I would feel that way. I wouldn't want a man around, even if he was a relative, around the kids. Right. There's just a gut thing within me that says, I don't know if she deserves the same thing. I just don't feel like she's going to go molesting her, the kids of her family.
Well,
I just don't.
People have a different way of looking at it, and I'm not one of them.
Because 90 to 95% of child abusers and molesters are men.
Are male. But that's besides the point, really.
How many of them are repeat offenders? And we see a large percentage, I think it's up in the 70s, in terms of repeat offense for someone who does engage in pedophilia. And so I think if we're going to treat them the same, and this is a person who engaged in lewd conduct with a minor, we have to have the same rules apply.
We agree, but you can't negate the fact that for centuries, young boys have gone to older women to initiate themselves into sex. And the fathers are the ones who take them. So I mean, that is part of the tradition of the male, growing up.
I don't think we should dilute the fact that this is something awful that happened, and this is also a person in power in terms of teaching a child.
As we get, supposedly advancing and knowing this.
A woman having sexual relations with a younger boy, is it the same psyche of a man having sexual relations?
Depends on the person. I mean, I hate to say this, but I guess it depends on the person.
Sure.
But speaking of people's psyches, a Philadelphia woman was arrested Tuesday after she allegedly posted an ad on Craigslist to perform sex acts in exchange for World Series tickets.
Wow.
Wait a second. What if it rains? Does he get a rain check, the guy?
No, because he's already given her the tickets.
On Craigslist, you can post anything.
I'm sorry, that was the best thing she could think of? I want Phillies tickets. I will give you a little nookie if you give me some tickets. No, I'm sorry. If I'm going to give you some nookie, give me a house. I want a house. I want a car.
You're not a cheap date.
No.
She's a cheap date.
You know what?
Devoted fan. What did you do?
None of us here are cheap dates, and I'm sorry she had to go that far, because now she's going to miss the game altogether.
Yeah, I know. So to watch it in jail.
We'll be right back with Edward Norton.
Oh my gosh, I was totally checking out everybody's wardrobe here at The View. They have some really nice clothes, but you can have nice clothes too, and I'm going to show you later on in the show how you can look great and save money by shopping your own closet, okay? I did. This only cost me $10. Okay, well, maybe not 10, but not that much.
Actor Edward Norton went behind the scenes as producer of the new HBO documentary, By the People, The Election of Barack Obama, to reveal a very intimate side of the Obama family and the team determined to get him in the White House, even if they couldn't vote. Take a look.
My name's Lorenzo, and I'm 9 years old. I'm a volunteer with the Obama campaign. How are you? Where's Diana? Where's Diana? Obama is a candidate running for president. No, not Diana, Obama. Well, he's a candidate running for president. He's a candidate running for president. of the United States of America.
Please welcome Edward Norton.
Edward. Working his little tush off.
Lorenzo.
I think he's going to be a big star, Lorenzo.
I have a feeling he's probably already like governor of Illinois.
He might be. Now, you started filming President Obama a year before he even announced that he was going to run. Why were you filming him even back then?
We did. Well, these two filmmakers who are here with us today approached me and my partners about the idea of chronicling then Senator Obama's experiences in his first term in the Senate and kind of looking at American politics and government through that and introducing a new generation to the ins and outs of government and politics. Yeah, yeah, we were all struck by him.
Sure, obviously. I mean, and then jackpot when, of course, he announced he was going to run. And my question is, because I watched it, and then you see these really intimate moments with Sasha and Malia at home in the kitchen with the First Lady, and before she was. Were there times, I mean, did President Obama look back on this and say, okay, I don't want everything in this that you had? Or did you get to run with all the footage that you originally got?
We did show it to the Obamas and to the senior staff who were in the film, but they didn't ask us to take anything out at all. It was really, we did have an unprecedented access to his experiences and those of his advisors and all the campaign staff. So it really is a very intimate look at the inside of a campaign as you go through it.
I mean, even their phone calls to their dad on the trail. I mean, it was really, I thought they definitely had some moments where I thought maybe they would say, maybe not the girls.
Yeah.
Interesting that they didn't.
They were remarkably cooperative. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that they knew that we weren't the media. We weren't
Fox News. So
no, and we weren't even. They knew they had to do something for the long record, for the historical record. A perspective on how that piece of history of his election, was actually engineered from the inside.
Now, Obama's approval ratings have changed a bit since this has been done. Do you think this is going to have an effect on people, whether they'll want to see this?
No, and it's not for Obama supporters either. It's I think whether you're a Republican strategist or an Obama fan or anybody who you can never diminish the fact of his election. It was a global.
I can speak from the other side. I think it's a historic thing to actually take part in and watch, and I think objectively just seeing the process is quite interesting.
Yeah, I think there's no, from any angle that you come at politics, I think there's a lot that's very revealing about
like that movie, The War Room, about Clinton. It was just interesting to see what they were doing, no matter who it was.
I think it's as much a portrait of the democratic process and the electoral process as anything else.
You're also sort of my hero because you're running the New York Marathon this week, and I think that's outstanding.
Thank you.
Is that you trained in Africa. So can you talk a little bit about that?
I did. I was traveling this summer. Here's some pictures of us running.
Amazing.
This is in the Maasai tribal areas of southern Kenya. I'm on the board of an organization working on ecosystem conservation that works in partnership with this Maasai community. And we had raised money in over the years, but we decided we wanted to do something a little more dynamic, so we put together a team. So three of these guys from Kenya are living with me currently in New York.
Yeah. Oh, really? So they're going to run the marathon. Yeah, and they're going to run the marathon with you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Are they going to wear their traditional African
garb? Yeah. They run? They run in sandals made out of old Michelin tires.
Right.
And
Yeah.
And now, are you going to be running in traditional garb as well? Or
I think that burgundy and blue checks don't really sit with me.
Well, it might.
Good luck.
Did you lose weight?
Thank you. You kind of lose it some places and put it on in others.
Yeah,
really? So it's kind of.
Even if you had lost weight, how could you tell? I mean, Edward is he's one of those actors who, whenever you see him, you think he's put on a gazillion pounds when you're watching the performance, and then you realize, no, it's still his body. It's still him. He's a thin kid.
You're playing twins on next movie, right?
Yeah, I've always wanted to, act against myself.
Against yourself.
I thought that would be fun.
That's great.
It was interesting. No, but the marathon is intimidating, but I think it's an iconic New York event. Like,
how are they handling being in New York? Is this their first time?
One of them's been before. He's the president of the trust. The other two, it's their first time out of their village.
Right. So what's it like, New York City?
They are very they're very stoic guys, but I can see that they are one of the things they think is the weirdest is people walking dogs and cleaning up after them. They cannot get over that.
Well, they're in Africa. A lot of animals there.
Yeah,
with a big pooper scooper in Africa.
But the village, where they come from, there are 7,000 people in the whole community, and there's going to be 40,000 people at the start of the race.
That's right.
So imagine what that's like.
Good luck on the marathon, and congratulations. We'll be watching you on Modern Family.
You'll
be guesting on Modern Family. And HBO's By the People, the election of Barack Obama premieres Tuesday, November 3rd. We're going to be right back.
Shopping spree isn't in the cards in this economy. You can save a bundle if you know the secrets that stretch out the life of your clothes and can transform them into a whole new look. And here to tell us all about it is Carson Kressley. Hello,
hey, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, I think, everybody wants to make their dollar go a little further and kind of shop your closet and use what you have, even if you just want to be a little more green, too.
Yeah.
And the first step is really, going in and cleaning out your closet. I mean, everybody I know, their closet is like overflowing with stuff.
But maintaining the items that you think are essential in a woman's wardrobe, and you say there are 4, correct?
Yeah, everybody has a great white blouse, and it's a perfect layering piece. It always looks good. If you're ever in doubt in the morning, you pop that on with a great skirt, you're done.
Classic.
That's what I do.
Okay, number 2 is what?
Without the skirt, though, I don't need all that. And then a black skirt or a black pair of slacks. Black is always a great grounding piece. It's a great, thing that you can layer on your other great newer pieces.
Okay.
Dark denim. A little bit better than that, that worn-out, faded look. Dark always looks a little dressier.
They're showing a lot of the faded right now, but it's always more flattering to go dark, I think.
It's flattering to go dark.
Jeans is the way to go.
You can, but dark denim also functions the same way, I think, right?
Exactly, and it looks a little dressier, especially if you want to wear it more places. It's better than the lighter washes. Yeah. And then your cardigans, and they're a big statement piece again. Everybody has them, and they're easy to dress up with layering pieces or accessories.
Okay, so once you find the pieces in your closet that you love, let's talk about giving them a facelift, because you have some tips for women,
there's lots of things that we have that we can kind of renew and reinvigorate. The white shirt. One little tip about the white shirt, make sure it's bright white. Okay. I always use a little Clorox bleach because, your laundry detergent isn't enough to keep it looking fresh.
Right.
And then we kind of pimped it out.
Yeah, you did.
Okay? And we put new buttons on. You can see, an old shirt with just the plastic buttons, kind of not that exciting, but the gold tone buttons, 50 cents a piece. I don't do math, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, a couple dollars.
But here, you know what? It can even be less. If you're used to wearing this under a jacket, just do the top buttons. You don't even have to do all of them.
Or if when you're cleaning out your closet, you find a great shirt that you can't wear anymore because it's too stained or it's too whatever, salvage the buttons. Everybody has a button jar at home.
I know, Mother left you so many buttons.
My mom used to have buttons.
Right, and these are great, too. If you have a winter coat, maybe like a gray flannel piece, just put on new gold buttons or rhinestone buttons, and it makes it look new.
Right.
Don't touch for the jackets. Like it.
Now, exactly. Okay. These are jeans, but the tip is here, remember to always wash them inside out.
Don't wear them inside out. Wash them inside out.
Is that so?
That would be a little too Punky Brewster if you wore them out like this. But wash them inside out. It protects the hardware from ruining your washing machine. It also helps them from fading a little bit.
They're much quieter in the dryer this way.
I thought fading is the key.
No, the dark wash denim, you want to keep it nice and rich and dark and looking new.
Not on your own. You can buy them faded already. Don't fade them on your own. That's dangerous stuff.
And you can use a little Clorox, too, here to keep them looking bright.
Okay. What about, storing...
Skirts.
Oh, skirts. You have tips for them.
Yeah, let's go over to the skirts. This one's really easy and fun. Your tailor can be your best friend.
Skirt. George has a nice skirt on.
I have the skirt.
You have a nice skirt on. That's great. If you decide that, that's not the right shape for you or you want to change it up and you don't want to go out and buy a whole new outfit, just go ahead and take this to your tailor and you can take a flare skirt like the one you have on and you can turn it into a pencil skirt in 2 seconds.
But why would you when you like it this way?
But maybe you
But
don't
if you want something new, without buying new, Especially
if that's the line of today. Okay.
Exactly.
It's short.
And this
that's
one,
really short.
This is very short. short. This is if you want to go out and be a little naughty.
Right. I'm avoiding that so I don't get pregnant again.
Stop it. Is that how it happens with a short skirt?
Exactly. It'll start somewhere.
Now I'm not going to wear those anymore. This is a really easy tip. Top stick, which is just toupee tape. And not many people wear toupees anymore, but it's an amazing invention because you can use it to create a temporary hem.
Oh, cute.
So if you just want to shorten something...
I use it, look, shoulder pads.
You can use it to hold everything in. It'll
Okay, why don't men have toupees anymore?
A lot of guys don't.
Why? Just be
I just think guys are more comfortable.
Agassi was playing tennis in the toupee. We
and
just
see what happened? It disintegrated. It disintegrated. And then, last but not least, you know, a great tip, you know, to get value out of clothes, buy the best quality you can afford, but take care of it. So these plastic dry cleaner bags, terrible for your clothes.
Oh, people leave them in them all the time.
Yeah, they can trap in moisture.
They're dangerous. You can suffocate yourself.
Yeah, not a toy.
Not a toy. It says it right on the bottom.
Exactly.
No,
Joan Crawford was so gross. Okay, because they're not supporting your garment. They're just going to basically weaken the fibers where it's pulling on this wire. Okay?
It's not a reason to kill your children, though.
No. Not in most cultures. The bags that you want to store, and especially if you're going to store something like an evening gown or something that you don't wear a lot, use these cotton bags, okay?
That's not what you get from the stores.
I want to mention something important that you're working with. You're actually working with Clorox for a special cause this season during the holidays,
Clorox Company is supporting Hannah's Holiday Sock Drive.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is donating 10,000 pairs of clean, warm socks to people in need.
That's nice.
And it's just a great way to help out for the holidays.
I'm glad you're working with them.
Yeah.
This is, so take care of your clothes, look at what you already have, make some adjustments, and give to that charity. If you guys want any more information on anything we just talked about, because it was a lot, check out our website, and everyone in our audience is going home with a gift bag from Clorox. We will be right back.
You know, it turns out that Nell Scovell, who wrote the Letterman,
David Letterman,
she's a friend, and so she's going to be on your show. She's
on my show tonight.
And also, you know, if you want to follow Ed Norton's marathon training, go to Twitter at Ed Norton. Have a great day, and everybody take a little time to enjoy the view.
Tuesday, They Arrive. The series premiere of V is Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on ABC.